Let me introduce you to my grandmother. I know her as Gishy, who has never missed a cross-country meet and rides with me to school every morning. But there is really much more to her than that. I knew she was a lawyer, but I wanted to know more about it. I found out that she's actually a big deal. What was your experience being one of the first female lawyers in Louisiana? Did you face any discrimination getting into law school and throughout law school?
David, I was born in 1930, which meant that I would have been wanting to go to law school if I went around 1952. And in those days, women were not lawyers. And I had decided when I was in high school in about the ninth grade that that's what I would like to do. I knew I would want to go to LSU Law School because in those days, if you wanted to get into politics in Louisiana, you almost had to go to LSU Law School. And I thought at that time I might want to get into politics. And so I applied to LSU to go in 1952. I took the LSAT and ended up getting in law school. That was not any problem because all you had to do was make well on the LSAT. Didn't have a thing to do with gender or anything. So I ended up the first day of law school. All of the new law students, and there were about 75 or 80 people who were starting that year. And we were all standing out on the steps of the law school, and everybody was so wonderful to me that I did not feel discriminated against at all. And I remember one of the things that one of the professors said was, look at the person on your right, look at the person on your left. At least one of them will not be here at the end of the semester. And that was correct. And out of the class, only 39 graduated. I felt like the professors all really liked me. I felt like the students loved me. I never felt there was any discrimination whatsoever. I knew when I got my grades that I would be on something that was called the Law Review. And the Law Review is a publication that is put out like 4 times a year. And it is written by the students. And there are 4 editors of the Law Review. So I knew with my grades that I would be on the Law Review because that's how they select you. And so I was on the Law Review, and then in my senior year, I was one of the editors of the Law Review. No discrimination. Nobody said they didn't want me to be an editor because I was a girl. No discrimination whatsoever.
Was there any discrimination in finding a job?
Buck Kleinpeter of Cantrell Spade West and Kleinpeter came, and they were one of the law firms that interviewed me. I had some other interviews, but I was very interested in them, and so I decided to go with them. And one of the questions that often comes up when you're talking about the differences in the genders is the pay scale. And I was offered a job at that time, and this would have been in 1955, making $350 a month. And it turned out that that was the highest pay that any one of the lawyers that I graduated with was making. So you know how low the pay was in those days. But they did not discriminate against me pay-wise. And all through the years, the firm never did discriminate against me pay-wise.